Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome to my brand new series here in City Skylines 2 as your boy is going to be building FoolsTown. Now look at this map, boys. Doesn't it look so beautiful right now? The mountains in the distance, the abundancy of all the rivers tearing through our lands right now, and right behind us is a big open sea. Now we've got a small little tile to work with, one little entry point off the highway right now. I love this little kind of cinematic camera mode. And a lot of work to do. Now here is the map. Oh my goodness me, it's one of the standard maps you get in the game. I think it's the Fords one. I can't actually remember which one I picked right now, but we've got some unique challenges that are pretty much set upon us right now, and some unique circumstances where we've got to build. Lots of rivers, lots of bumpy land, big mountainous regions here, there, and everywhere surround us right now. So it should be pretty fun with us trying to build a city in this area. Now, our tile that we get to begin with straight away has a nice big chunk of water running through. We've got a highway. We got some external power source connection there. We got a nice little connection on the highway, which is a beautiful trumpet junction. Pretty much what I would create normally anyway. And we have this kind of like little kind of single lane highway road that also leads out into a different direction. But here we go, boys. Episode 1 of my brand new series, building FoolsTown, which FoolsTown was the first city I built in City Skylines 1, so it kind of feels about right. So I think we should jump straight into this. So if you are enjoying City Skylines 2, want to see more and you are hyped for this series, your boys' first official city building series right now, where we take it seriously, boys, then smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But we're going to start by building them. We're going to start getting things all up and running. So before we jump into them, we need to make sure that we take a look at some options before I kind of move forward, because it will determine where stuff gets placed. Now, I'm not worried about the water and the sewage, even though we should really check the water flow. It's all going out, so I could use groundwater, but I could suck up some stations over here, and I can put some sewage down here, and then the two won't mix, so we won't have any problems with them drinking poop water. When it comes to power, we'll just probably use our power plants, but I want to take a look at the air pollution because it shows us where the wind is currently blowing. Now that's important for factory related stuff. So we know the wind is blowing from the sea. I like how it all kind of changes based on the mountains as well. And it's pretty much blowing in this direction. So we kind of want to place industry over that way. You know what I mean? It would be a good little option there to kind of implement all that. So that is all I technically need to know for the most part. So let's begin building this then. I think what we'll do first then, we'll kind of set up the basis of a little neighborhood, add in some residential, get some people moving in, build a little bit of industry here and there, and just get things rocking and a rolling. So we really have limited space because the majority of our kind of initial tiles have a big river running through, and the riverbeds are a bit kind of awkward. So it's going to be an interesting one. It is going to be an interesting one. So what I reckon I'll do then, I'm going to delete the roundabout, get that out of the way for just a moment, and we'll start with our 4-lane road. So if I make this kind of continue out to begin with, bringing this down, bam, bam, bam. How did that snap just go a little bit funky? That's the one thing that kind of is, I wouldn't say annoying, but it is kind of annoying, is the fact that the snapping is so easy to kind of slightly mess up. It can be quite just slight little nudge here and there, and you've kind of messed up your whole spacing. But I think it's going to happen anyway, no matter what. So we'll lead it to there. So where are we running this 4-lane road then? Well, looking forward, eventually when we unlock more tiles, we can add additional connections. But I feel like this is going to kind of come out, and we ultimately want it to go maybe in multiple directions, stuff like that. I don't really have a plan set out to begin with. But I think we'll kind of build a kind of a little small community around this little section and see where we kind of go with that. So for now, if I just kind of bring this all the way out, and then we'll adjust and change it as we wish. So let's kind of start with a little community here then, and around here, both sides. So what we'll do is create a road that kind of sticks out in one of the areas, and I reckon we pick about, let's go about here. Bring that up, and as much as I don't want to do grids, we're initially going to have some grids to begin with. And then we'll roll from that into bendy, windy, turny stuff. I don't want to do too many grids. It's something that I do quite often. We have the grid tool, which makes it even more easy to build grids. But I think on our initial road section here, we'll grid it, and then we'll kind of go off and kind of really build to the edges of the cliff sides and all that. I think that will be quite a nice little feature. So how far do I want to take this then before the next one? So we've got the space here. So that is, in reality, 1, 2. So if I go 3, do you reckon that's too many and then do a cut in? Do you reckon that's too close to this? I don't think so, because roundabouts are now our best friend. That's what we've got to remember. Roundabouts are now our best friend. So oh wow, that went a bit funky, didn't it? For some reason that does not want to play ball. So to here and then straight down. There we go. So we'll do the same on this side, and what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to be quite proactive about this. So do one more. And I'm normally, what I would do is I would build commercial all within here. I'm going to leave this quite open and quite blank, because if it means that I get to extend my highway coming through to access more areas a lot easier, that I feel like that would work out fairly well. I think it would. So based off this then, we're going to do a couple of little grids just to kind of get something going. So we'll go to about there, and how far can we push it down? Would that work? This would work 100%. And if I go to about there, which is a 160, which look at that, boys. For some reason it goes a little bit funky on this one side here. I'm not too sure why it does that. Let me see if we can kind of slightly adjust this. So leaning over. Oh, hang on, I'm still on the grids. Your boy's still on the grids. Right, there we go. It's just so easy to slightly mess it up, and it's happened there. So I feel like sometimes it's just easy to go directly through, and you get a better lineup for it. It's not perfect, but it will kind of do. It will kind of do. So we'll put some residential around these. We'll do the commercial in the middle here, leading in, and some residential there. And we'll keep this section here open for now as a way to kind of disperse the traffic a little bit easier, but also think about maybe at some point highways will tear through. So we'll kind of build up our little suburbs a little bit more. And we'll kind of base it off this, and we'll go up to the 160 mark. And directly over, so 160, which was there, bam, glorious. And I think we'll come away now from the grids slightly. We'll slightly come away from the grids. So the great thing about this is they give you so much money to start with in the game that you have a little bit of freedom to build, which I really, really like that. I really do like that you have a little bit more freedom to build. So let's go to about there, and then we'll then begin a few little bends. So we'll go for a nice little bend just there. So that's an 88 by an 88. So we're pretty much running almost straight there. So a nice little curvature where that could potentially just run directly in. And I feel like we should then do the continuous curve on the road to allow this to now almost run alongside the area. So get to about there. We'll kind of start to bend it. And then we'll do this like as a little bit of a coast road. A little bit of a coast road now, which we can utilize to build some nice little properties and abundance of buildings and all that kind of sweet jazz. So if I go right round to, I mean, the other option now is I could also kind of bend it in to connect it directly to there. So a nice little wiggle going round, and that way we kind of stepping away from our grids. We'll still have like some roads that form like a grid where this will like run all the way down into it, because that's how like the through routes kind of work. But it's just a case of making sure that we get the snaps just right. Right, there we go. Has that turned into a bridge? No, I think it's just the way it's kind of all connected, isn't it? We'll allow this to go across. Now, I'm not going to do or fill it all up with roads just yet, because some buildings will be a little bit too big. And I feel like with the wind blowing over this way as well, we'll either put industry here, or once I unlock a tile or two, we'll put some industry over here instead. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll go with this then. We'll try and squeeze in a few little items. I might leave this kind of open for some services, and we'll build some cul-de-sacs as well. I think that would be a nice little feature. So let's get some of the basic stuff in then to be able to have this city functional. We need to take care first of our water. So we'll go for an actual water pumping station because it's cheaper to maintain, or cheaper to upkeep, and it pumps more water than the ground one. So we'll place you just over, we'll place it just here or over here. We'll do it here. Now this actually requires a road, believe it or not. It does actually require a road. So I think we'll use our alleyway style road and kind of come off this. So where would I come off this road? Let me bring this road out a little bit more first. So leading this directly across. Bam. Oh, is that bridged? Excuse me, sir. You're not allowed to bridge. Who do you think you are? Building bridges right now. Who do you think you are? Right. We'll allow the grid to continue then. And it's weird how you just kind of lose the essence of all of this. I think that was not particularly straight. And I don't think that's particularly straight either. That's the pain of this game at times. It's so much more difficult to get the perfect grid alignment. But that works. But this doesn't. Oh my goodness me. It's because the land does kind of dip down. But I'm going to kind of build it as if we're just going to ignore the fact that it's doing that. Right there. And then can I go slightly down and then up? Yeah. Right, we glitched the system. So anyway, boys, we're going to kind of get off this here. So let's get rid of the snapping ability. So it's almost straight leading out of it. And we'll connect it up to one of these little areas. So I reckon we kind of come out. Let's put the snapping back on. We'll do continuous from here. Now it's a small little alley kind of style road. So it's really just kind of access the little service area. Does require power, which we'll get onto in just a moment. We're going to take care then of the sewage outlet. So the sewage outlet, this doesn't require power at all, right? And all we need to do is hook up a sewage pipe to it. And we'll connect it just to there. And that's glorious. And then the water pipe, we're just going to connect water to this. Oh, does that connect by default because it's on the road? I'm not sure. We'll find out. But now we need power. Now, I could import the power, which is not a problem. It's not a problem at all. We have the option to use our transformer station to transform the high voltage from a power plant to low voltage currently usable by buildings. Which I'm assuming that's what we kind of have to do there. Or I could place down our small little coal power plant. Now, what I would like to do is maybe level up to place down it over here somewhere. That ideally is what I would want to do. Now, I wonder if I can kind of progress a little bit further without having to do it just yet. You don't get anything for zoning straight away. I can put a little bit of commercial here. Get some residential zoning now in. So that will build the buildings, but it won't do anything for us because I need power. Now, it's like I can just move the building when I need to, right? I can just move the power plant when I need to. So if I just put the coal power plant here, just for now, just so I've got something in, and then once I've unlocked some additional tiles, we'll move it out the way slightly. That's what we'll do, boys. That's what we'll do. So we'll have a little fast forward then to get these moving in and get some people living here. Get some money generated. It won't be much. We probably won't even break even for quite some time. But it will be a decent enough start for us. It will be a decent enough start. So once you get all that up and running, it's going to look pretty cool. And I think if we also make sure that we always leave space for potential highways tearing through in different areas to lead in different directions, I think we'll be okay. Honestly, I feel like we'll be okay. So let's go wait for all this now kind of slowly come together. And the people will be moving in very, very shortly. We have our first store that's now being built, and our first set of residential buildings also now appearing as well. And people are now moving in for the first time ever. Oh, this is looking good. We've got people making their way to different buildings, houses. There's a dude walking around the mean streets right now. You got your boy John Thatcher. Where's he going? So he's an employer at Chemical Law. Is that how you pronounce it? Where's Chemical Law? Ah, just here. What is this place? I'm assuming it's a pharmaceutical. It sells chemicals. Unless it's a different type of chemical. I don't know. But people are actually now moving in. We got 5 residents, or 5 population currently. But it will slowly keep increasing as more and more of the buildings do get built. But not looking too shabby, boys. Not looking too shabby. Now, I forgot to mention as well, we've also got the left-hand driving, so this is very, very UK-based. And we've also got the UK, well, I say UK. I got left-hand driving, and we've got EU-style buildings. Okay? That's what I've forgot to mention. And we've now progressed to a tiny village. Nice. We get some new tiles that we can now unlock. So, it's very European, even though these buildings don't look very European, but, you know, it is what it is. So, let's now buy... We've got the ability to unlock 3 tiles, so I reckon we're going to unlock these 3 here, and this is where we build our industry. So, for 23,000 unlocks a lot of groundwater area as well, which is pretty cool. But we won't use it anyway. We've got an abundance of rivers and stuff to use, so we'll use them. Right, let's get rid of this road, because it's not within my plans, this road at the moment. Let's kind of delete that back. And we'll bring this down to about here, and then do a 4-lane road crisscrossing. Do I want to do crisscrossing, or should we have it bend? I can have it kind of snap that way to go that way, and then have one go this way, and then we can like implement some type of a roundabout. So, without I don't want to build to a grid format too much. But if I, just in my head right now, if I kind of build a road that kind of comes down like this, and then we have this road split to kind of go in that direction. Now, this is without paying any attention to the layouts of these roads. I think it will be quite a cool little feature. Right, let's get this to snap in. And as you drop a roundabout. Now, right now, I only have the ability to do small roundabouts, but I'll throw that in just there anyway. And that will eventually become a slightly larger style roundabout. And it'll be quite a nice little junction to kind of work with. So, we'll lead a road coming off into here then, which will access some of our industry. Now, we do need to push it back a bit more, but this should work out fairly well. So, got this leading down then. It would be nice to build some industry around here, but just trying to figure out now where the best option would be. So if I also kind of think about the logistics of this area in general, and if I go to about there. Oh, I'm not even on the I'm on the wrong one there, boys. Lead it down to there, and then just kind of go across by one section. Delete you. I've got the space in there to give us enough kind of room for maneuvering. So if I also then go, so that's bam, bam to there, and then we'll do one more bam, and then lead it up. So where would the connection for this be? So that is a total of, alright, bring you up to there. 1. I think on this one here is the self-proclaimed middle. There we go, to work with. And then we'll kind of bend all this into order to kind of make the alignments kind of change and match. Oh, where did that go? That went a bit funky, didn't it? So that there is it's a, what is that? Is that a 65? 65. Where's the snap gone? I think it's about there. It kind of just went a little bit skewiff, didn't it? Well, let me delete that. And then we'll kind of pull out of this. By the 10 marker anyway. So that should be a little bit easier to kind of play around with to where the bend's going to be. So that now becomes a 70. I mean, it would be good if I'm also in the right position. We kind of lose it, don't we? It goes a bit weird. 64 by 64. And then build directly in. Right, so that kind of slightly flows through. Now, is there room here? Yeah, there is definitely room here to kind of continue this. So it's trying to get them to also, I won't say avoid the 4-lane road, but also try to utilize it in a way that makes the most sense. So that there's a 28 by 38. That's not right. So 25 by 28. I'll roll with it. It will still work out for us. Bam. So the roads now flow through. They all flow through and they all match and they all go in different kind of areas as well. So this entry point there will eventually obviously lead us all the way up. To what point I'm not too sure just yet. But we'll go ahead and we'll build a few little areas here for our industry. So it's out of the way of the wind pollution for us. Which is good. Oh, that would have been wonky, didn't it? See what I mean? It's just so easy to not get the right alignment. I wish the snapping was a little bit better in this game. That's done it as well. It's like, in what world is that happening? Oh, okay, I can see why. It's trying to do a 13 rather than a 12. Well, if I go this way instead. No. What? Oh, okay, I see what it's trying to snap on this. Right, can I move that? Can I move this road out of the way? If I delete you. It's trying to snap on that, and that's what's slightly throwing me off. There's the 12. There we go. So we'll just work with this area to begin with, and we'll place down some industry right now. So industry-wise, very good, sir, very good. It's all blowing that way with the wind. And then we'll also move our little power plant as well. We'll get this now out the way. So I'll throw this just there. It's still all connecting all work, and we'll try and bring the power lines over so I can export the excess and not worry about the bills too much. So it'll kind of split our deficit ever so slightly. Right, anyway, we now have got the basics, the bare minimum, and we actually have a city with 117 residents. So they are complaining about needing waiting for an ambulance and all that kind of jazz, but I'm going to kind of slightly hold out a little bit for now before we start placing in some services. Now, when it comes to our city information, our demands, it tells us what is causing the demands right now. So, there is currently a lot of negative going on. So, there's a lot of unoccupied buildings, which is causing the low density demand to slightly raise. I don't know how the unoccupied buildings cause for the need of more buildings. I don't quite know how that works, but yeah. We'll add some more in then. So, where should we start then? I reckon we should start building this area up a little bit more and seeing where we can get on with this. So I reckon there is slight room here to kind of build this road cutting across. Oh, it doesn't really work out. There we go. Alright, leading this straight. And we'll get rid of the road just there. And then we'll connect this in. It's like at that last moment, the road decides to go wonky. Right. It's always easier just to kind of pass it directly through and delete. Makes life a little bit easier. And do we then start to kind of bend these roads? I think we'll keep that road as it is. And then from these roads then, so that there is our next one. We'll do some continuous bends now coming out. So we'll kind of start to wind it in. There we go. And then we're going to build some cul-de-sacs coming off it as well. So we get some like nice little neighborhood vibes. I reckon that could continue through. How does that look? Right, not too bad. You get like a nice little flow going through. Not too bad. And then we'll fill in some of the gaps. So like, for example, I could have coming off this road here. That road going out to there. I kind of want to do a couple of these, by the way. We'll have a road just to here. And I'll do a road. We'll do it just there. So what we do then is we throw and use the roundabouts and we put them on the end of these little areas. And then it kind of creates like little miniature cul-de-sacs within our little section. But I also feel like we should kind of slightly spread outwards on these roads as well. To kind of slightly overshoot. And it should create some interesting points. So we'll do it on every single one. So it doesn't feel like it's like an edge of a ring road. There's a kind of little bit of a denseness to it as well. Right, okay. So residential then. Now we have quite a decent amount of medium density too. So let's get our low density in first. So we'll start by building it around here. And we'll just take it up to there right now. That will spend all that. Now on this side, I think we should then start to implement some medium density. So we get some like larger buildings to a certain extent. Problem is, I'm limited to space. So the grids that I'm going to first, evolve or revolve around this would be a little bit longer than normal. Right, does that now all fit in? Yeah. So we're going to have like different sizes of grids. Like these ones are going to be a bit longer than those ones. But it allows me to then kind of play around with stuff. So, oh, I'm about to say, what is that there? That's where we had our original coal plant. So that's where it originally created some ground pollution. So if I go with some mediums just here then, we'll build one there and watch our demand disappear straight away. So with the minimum amount of buildings that it's already building, it's already spent on medium density demands. Interesting. So we'll place down a little bit more commercial now, which will go just there. That will spend that demand, and it's all slowly coming together. So one thing I never seem to be able to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, Pop Musician Mansion. We'll get that signature building in just a moment. One thing I never seem to be able to kind of settle down or fill the appetite of is our low density residential. It always seems to kind of want to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So I'm going to kind of fill up all these little nooks and crannies right now. And we'll go around the outskirts of all of this with the low density residential. Go around all the outskirts as well. Because it will all build up. It will all fill itself up anyway. Is there a bit there that we're kind of missing? No, it's just how the cookie crumbles, how it falls just there. And that will then get spent. So our medium density houses are now coming in. Our little townhouses there, looking beautiful, looking beautiful. Oh, what happened there? I have no idea what has happened. And yeah, it's not looking too shabby, is it? It's not looking too shabby. Now, we can control how they slightly build as well, and that will obviously all fall down to our little kind of how we build our paths and such. And I feel like what we can kind of do with this stuff is allow it to create crosswalks and allow us to kind of connect to certain areas. I don't think this is going to want to play ball. So having little walkways around just enables us to kind of access areas a little bit easier. It makes a city walkable. Well, if I lead that down to there, And you could get carried away with building these. Now, if you build the path right against the actual road, it does create a crosswalk, which is quite handy for pedestrians getting from point A to point B. Now, we've already got abandoned buildings because I'm doing all crazy stuff right now to get connections. Now, for some reason, it doesn't like the idea of connecting directly in to a cul-de-sac, which I find quite interesting. Alright, where are we going to run with this? Something's going to have to give, and it will be you, unfortunately. Now, we'll do a couple more of these because I like the idea of this, because it also allows us to not only create a walkable city, but it also allows us to add a little bit of decoration. Let's pick a random one as well. Let's pick this one here. And a little bit more movement as well. And then we can hopefully not have as many vehicles driving around. So if I lead that to there and then bring it directly down, but then also connect to here, I find it fascinating. I really do find it fascinating. Right, I don't want to get too caught up with all of this because, you know, it would take a lot away from what I'm doing. But some good accessible points there. Some good accessible points. I'll do one more. We'll do one more, which will kill off that little section and then lead this down to there. Okay, that didn't build the crosswalk. So as time goes on, we can place down some trees as well. So creating these nice little walkable neighborhoods will make it really, really accessible to certain areas. And yeah, we can plant down some trees. Now, what I also like in this game as well, I like it, but I also don't like it, is when you place down trees, right, they're babies, okay? They're babies. Look at the size of the tree compared to a current tree. So trees are tiny to begin with. You have to grow the trees, which is not bad. I love that idea, but at the same time, I dislike it because we have to wait ages before we actually see it all come together. So it's like I got a love-hate relationship already with trees. Now, I'm going to do some walkability within this as well. I feel like what I should have done is maybe place down the path stuff before anything else. So if I place down this path here and ran this directly through, because you can kind of then control how the buildings get built. So if I start with, for example, what's the size they normally build on? It's normally like a single, isn't it? But if I do it like this, that will all build them in a line. And I do it there like that as well. And then once I built all those, I then zone the ends to kind of complete it. We've got a walkway in the middle. That's how I should have done it. And we would have had some organization. So I kind of feel like, right, I might need to do it here. So deleting you. And you. And then setting up our little walkway, which does take up this big chunk there. Oh, it didn't create the crosswalk. It didn't create the crosswalk. Now, granted, it doesn't obviously... We don't get to fully experience the full shebang. Right, to there, to there, to there. Of the full length of what the houses could be, because we kind of stolen some tiles from them. But we have that additional level of control with those row houses. And I really like that. I do really like that. Right, okay, there's lots of stuff already happening right now and already going on. They are demanding more and more residential stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to implement this here as well. So that is the middle, right? Yeah, it's creating a crosswalk directly up. Do it for these as well. And because we can place some trees down, it'll be nice and walkable. They'll handle it very well. Now, do I do the same thing for commercial? out of interest, what would it look like having this whole area here, having this neighborhood design? We can experiment with it. We've got some commercial demand now. So we'll start with this one here. So if I go with it like that, and we'll see how they all get built. Look at the houses now. Oh, I don't like how they've built here. Right, let me scrap these houses. There we go. No, build like this instead. There you go. If you build it one by one, you don't get the big confusion that kind of ensues. Right, let me delete these to speed up process. Now place you in. Yeah, you've kind of got to control it in a weird way. Let me delete that one and get the big house in, and delete you and delete you. Alright, get the big houses. I mean, I could have like kept them just to have a bit of like, you know, different kind of stuff going on to break up the boring pattern that we're seeing. But we'll plant some trees down, but it looks really good, doesn't it? I've got these little kind of row terrace houses, and I like it. I really like it. Right, okay. We're actually making money by the looks of it. And I'm not even exporting the excess power yet either. So let's keep this going then. Let's keep this rocking and rolling. Let's kind of expand this neighborhood. So I'm going to bring this one. Well, we'll bring both of them right now. We'll do some continuous wiggles. Let's kind of access these areas. And we'll do the same with this one as well. So they kind of flow like a nice little wave. And then rather than doing roads now that will kind of connect them all up, we'll utilize pathways instead. So let's pick some points here for pathways. So I might go this way, and I might then split it and also go this way. To where this pathway will go up and in. And then this pathway will go up and to there, which will also lead down to here. Now we will kind of connect them. In our own beautiful little way. Little triangle there as well. We can plant down some beautiful trees. And then we'll lead this in directly to here. So staggering some crossroads. It is what it is. But I think it'll add to the beauty of the area. Right, leading this directly down. There is a crosswalk there, which will lead it in. And then lead this down. And then up. Nice. Look at how walkable this now feels. Now, I could do bends as well. Like bendy paths. But I also like the jaggedness because we can also control them where the buildings build within this area. And we'll just go to there with that one. There we go. So, nice. I like it. So we're giving us some big patches as well to have some proper zoning. Now, was I going to do some cul-de-sacs within this? Well, we can first start by bringing these roads out. There we go. There's actually multiple roads here as well. I'm actually going to redo this road here, and then we'll bring it out on a little bit of a bend. There we go, like that, like that. And, yeah, okay. I don't think we'll do any cul-de-sacs around this one. We'll just kind of leave it as it is. But let's get some of this low-density house in it now. Go a bit more crazy with this. Now we've got some actual placement for all of this. We'll go around the edges as well. I'm not sure how much they'll like living near the highway. But you can build sound barriers. I think you just got to unlock in the advanced road services the sound barriers. But that will build all that now nicely up as well. Satisfy a lot of that demand. Those terrace houses look so good. I'm not even lying right now. They look so good. To the point where I'm going to implement some more. So we'll do it on this side then. Now what we'll do it like this. And then... Oh, no. Wrong one. I've gone for the wrong density. Right, go. And then... to the side. I could have gone right to the edge of the sides there, couldn't I? Like this. I'm going to wait till that's dispersed. That ground pollution. But that will spend that... I did have decent demand, and now it's just kind of all gone. This looks a little bit crazy, doesn't it? Now that we kind of see the multitude of stuff versus the control that we could have on all of this. Now, if I was to throw some trees down, let's say I went for some... Oh, some birch trees, maybe. You could really kind of go crazy with the build. Now, what would be cool is when it eventually does all build this up. Or build it up. I mean, all the trees grow. How nice it would then look. I wish you could drag a line of trees. It'll make my life so much easier. You just set the spacing of how you want the trees. I'm trying to do it a little bit like staggered in certain areas. I love it. I absolutely love it. That feels like a British neighborhood. It really does. So many places where I live like are styled like this. And everyone has to park on the street because no one has a driveway. Oh, it's kind of good, isn't it? It's kind of cool. Right, okay, so no residential demands left at all right now. There's nothing at all. So, and that's all down to the fact that there's not enough availability for jobs. So we need to kind of squeeze in a few more stuffs to create those demands. Now, I'm going to build another set of commercial. That should kind of grow those demands ever so slightly. And obviously industry as well is going to play a big part. Now, we kind of need to kind of expand a few more tiles this way because of the industry needs. So we'll buy those two to begin with. I'll delete all of this road to there. And that's not going to clip, is it, if I kind of then extend this road? No. And we'll then set this up. So that was a length of 224. So 22. I'll do a grid. 224. I'm just doing like that just so I can get the perfect alignment of it. And in. So, providing this all goes to plan next with the snap, I shouldn't see any issues with this. For us to extend our industrial. Now, the industrial, we've made the road spacements for the 4-lane road a little bit wider, just to be able to handle all the traffic needs. So we've placed down some more industry right now. There we go, all of that. That will build a bunch of factories. And we will be up and running. I like it. I like it a lot. So, now that we've seen this, right. Oh, and we've leveled up again, nice. Now that we've seen this with the trees and stuff like that and the path, how would it look with the low density stuff, like in a grid? Let's just kind of... Let's just experiment. I feel like we should slightly experiment. So let me do it on this one. I was going to reserve one of these for like 2 more commercials, but I think we'll kind of hold out on it. Now, if I make one side slightly bigger than the other, rather than splitting it down the middle. So one side's bigger than the other. So before I split it down the middle where I got the... oh no, actually I want the trees either side, don't I? Yeah, forget the splitting down the middle of one, making it one bigger than the other. I thought I was going to do like a cool thing there, but no. Let's not do cool things. Let's see how this now plays out. So I'm interested to see how this now works. So if I leave it by the looks of it, they're either a 2 or a 3. So if I do a 2, and if I do a 3 there, for example, I can then do a 2. Oh, but it's decided to build. Well, that's worked. Okay, so leaving it at 2 on the edge might not be the best idea. Because while it tries to do there on a 2, and it's done it there as well. Oh, it's done it there as well. I don't think you can win too much on that. Right, okay, if I just kind of go for the whole thing. Oh, the whole thing, you just place it down in general. I want to see how this plays out now, because I might apply it to like some commercial. I don't want to do it everywhere. It's just experiments, because that terraced... I think it works better on the terraced kind of style of it. And then get some of the ends now in. Delete you for the larger one. So I wonder how long it takes to get rid of ground pollution, by the way. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. But this housing is a little bit different. There's people walking on the paths as well. What about the other paths that I placed down? You got the odd person or two walking around them. I love it. I really do like it. I really do like it. Yeah, so our commercials over here would be the same there, but I don't want to do it everywhere. I don't want it to be like the main thing. But our industry is looking pretty beastie right now, isn't it? So I've got 1,300 people living here right now. Well, let's try and handle some of the city needs then. So the rent is high, apparently, and that's because we need a lot more buildings for them. I do have the ability to put in some medium density right now with some European apartment style buildings. That is slowly disappearing, but it will take some time. It will take some time. So I reckon we're going to buy some more tiles here. We'll buy these 2 sets of tiles. And then we'll push this grid back by 1 more. So what was that anyway? I'm not sure what that was. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? I can kind of do it like this. Get it to snap onto there. But I believe it was a 208. There we go. Now, let's do it again. But with the larger density of housing next. So this one will be interesting. The medium density. That's row housing. These are medium density houses. So if I go for a 2 there versus, for example, the 3. So I think it's just going to build differently no matter what. And if I do that here as well. Because I think that style there works better for the row houses. It does work better for the row housing. But I want to see how it kind of all comes together with different styles of housing as well before we really fully decide what we want to do. Right, the rents are super high. Yeah. I've got new housing coming in, guys, so don't worry. Is the unemployment, like, really high? Unemployment's at 0%. It is at 7%. They're having trouble. A higher zone density or different zoning may be needed. Right, we are getting some new zoning coming in. I need to place down some more commercial and stuff so we can have a little bit more growth. Right, we'll do some commercial just there. And definitely squeezing some commercial down here as well. So let's continue this fashion, because this is the other thing as well. If you do make your city walkable, it means you are going to get less traffic in general anyway. Because they find it easier to walk to where they want to get to. So spend some more demands there, which will increase some of our residential demands. And we are going to have to think about getting some additional stuff in. So we are making a profit as well, a decent amount of profit. Now let's connect the power lines up so we can export our excess power. So lead this to here. And I'm going to have to pay for it to go all the way over. Which is not... Can I make this go underground? Oh, I can! Right, let's scrap that then. I don't want to see this big pylon going all the way over. Right, why don't you just make it go underground? Right, to there. Right, that means I'll now export the excess power. But I don't think I've unlocked the... Oh no, I have unlocked the services. So services, electricity. You'll now see exporting happen as we can now export the excess, which for us now is 12,800. Look at that straight away, which makes us 900 plus on the hour. Now that number will change. It will increase, it will decrease if we've got a surplus versus if we've got too much. Or if we're using more power, then we can't export as much. But we're making money on the hour anyway, so that's good to see. Now, I don't feel like that would work as much in this kind of neighborhood, because it's a different style of housing altogether. So I don't think it will work as well as this. I feel like it needs to be more of a square. Weirdly, you know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Now, we're only making a profit right now because we don't have any services in our city. We don't really have any services, but let's get the last little bit of path around here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a little square radius. Well, that just messed up big time, didn't it? A little square radius. And we'll do the same thing here. So come off it just there slightly. And then snap it directly in. And then coming off that. So where we got the crisscross there, we'll bring it down in. We'll do one in the center here as well. Actually, where's that? Where does that meet? There. I mean, I can bring it all the way over. Make life a little bit easier. That would run directly down to here. I can have that run directly to there. We'll have this cutting through, why not? So it creates these now big rectangle areas. That we can utilize. I don't like that. That's a bit better. And then we'll run this directly down. Run you directly down. You're going directly up into there. So it becomes, believe it or not, a very walkable area outside of the residential. And then we'll go crazy with the zone again. Now, we have a lot of people paying these rents and not being quite happy about it. So I don't know whether to kind of maybe throw in some high density just slightly in here right now. Now, it will build these style of buildings, but they're not too big, and I feel like it might complement this area fairly well. So if I build a couple just here, because of the square pattern that we've got going on, I feel like it would slightly work. I feel it will slightly work and give them that you know, the higher density that they require to be able to pay those rents. Now, obviously, let me check the job situation. We have 0% unemployment, so we do need more work placements to bring more people in to create more residential demand, which we're not stressing too much just yet. That is still there, that little bit of pollution. I'm not a fan of the path on this one now. Nor am I a fan of actually utilizing the higher density just over here. So I might just get rid of the higher density there. Get rid of all the buildings here. I should have kept the path, because I still could have put down this. Alright, run these all the way down. There we go. So I can at least still put that demand or that zoning in anyway. And then I might do here, make them go the opposite way. Just to kind of split the difference slightly. So yeah, that feels a little bit better now with the squareness that we've got with the paths. I feel like it could actually work. So I think this is fairly like a little bit of a decent start right now. We are making profit, 2,000 on the hour. We have a large commercial demand still, and which we were gonna squeeze in. Or extend this path here. Oh, new condos, boys. To throw in the commercial on this side. Because this is going to be like a higher density house in any way around here, so it should provide a lot more kind of customers. And that will kind of increase a little bit of residential demand, which is going to build more of these houses. So it's not bad. It's a simple start. It's a basic start. But at least we got to the point where we're making profit. Now, even though we're making profit, the whole reason that is because we have 0 city services in whatsoever. So in the next episode, boys, episode 2, we'll take a look at implementing some of our city services. Now we got a feel for how this is kind of going to look. I think this could work out fairly well. We've got some organization, we've got some chaos, and we've got these big open road areas here for our 4-laners for us to either upgrade to 8-laners or even just start tearing some highways through. But we've got an idea of where it's all kind of going to come together. But it would be nice to be able to implement more stuff as we kind of tick along. So a good start, a decent start, but it can turn quite sour quite quickly. So we've got to make sure that we keep on top of it. We've got to make sure we keep on top of it. And the fact that they're all now complaining about there's waiting for an ambulance and all that kind of jazz. We've got to get some city services in our next few episodes. It'd be nice to get some parking in for these areas too. But these terrace houses look so good with the paths behind them. It's a nice, beautiful feature to this area. I really do like it. I really do like it. So, we'll end it for here, boys. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and I'm excited for this series to see where it can potentially go. Then smash that like button down below, and until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.